St. Louis City's World Tour continues as they've now added a Portuguese Angolan forward to their ranks, and this player has not yet played a single minute in Germany. And he's not injury-prone like St. Louis's other rumored transfer deadline signing. Welcome to St. Louis Alexandre Nascimento da Costa de Silva. We'll just call him Xande like everyone else does. So it's no secret to anyone that has watched St. Louis City this season that this team is pretty slow for a club that relies heavily on counterattacking under Olaf Melberg's system. Marcel Hartl is more quick than fast, and he's also playing deeper in the midfield, perhaps nerfing a bit of his offensive ability in the process, but also because Edouard Leuven will be out for probably the foreseeable future with personal matters to attend to. Cedric Teuchert is more quick than fast, as is our beloved Celio Pompeu. Simon Betcher is more of a physical forward, as is Joao Klaus, who kind of runs like a giraffe. Jay Reed, Rasmus Alm, and Thomas Totland are pacey, but all three are currently injured at the time of this recording. So this basically leaves Conrad Vollum as the only real healthy pace merchant on attack at this point. So something had to be done to inject some life and energy into an attack that would have the lowest goals in MLS at the time of this recording if CF Montreal didn't exist. And if you're needing some life and energy of your own, check out Pat Connolly Tavern, located at the corner of Oakland and Tam in beautiful Dogtown, a St. Louis institution since 1942 and home to some of the best fried chicken in the city of St. Louis, along with live Irish music during the week and drink specials during St. Louis City SC games. Pat Connolly Tavern. So who is Xande Silva, and why is Atlanta willing to let him go for just $250,000 in GAM? Well, let's take a look at Xande's path to St. Louis, and that might give us some clues. Xande grew up in Porto, Portugal, and is the son of Joaquim Silva, better known during his playing career as Quinzinho. Quinzinho started at FC Porto in 1995 and bounced around the Iberian Peninsula a bit before finding his greatest success playing in China in the mid to late 2000s. Born in Angola, Quinzinho would have 40 appearances for the Angolan national team. Like his dad, young Xande also bounced around a bit in his youth academy career, starting at the age of 10 at Alverca before jumping to Belenenses, then Sporting CP for 5 years, then Guimarães in 2014 and 2015. During this time, he was also a regular fixture in the Portugal youth system, playing a combined 65 matches between the under-15s and under-20s, and all points in between, scoring 19 goals from 2012 to 2017. Xande did manage to play 26 matches for Guimarães in the top flight of Portugal. He only scored 1 goal, but he showed enough promise that the Premier League would soon come calling. Silva was signed in 2018 by West Ham United for what Transfer Market reports was €1.5 million. He spent most of his time at first in West Ham's academy in the first few years, though he did make 1 appearance in the Premier League in December 2018, coming on as a second-half substitute. This makes him just the second St. Louis City SC player to ever have played Premier League minutes. Can you guess the other player? I'll give you a moment for that. It was Indiana Vassilev, who had 4 appearances for Aston Villa in the early 2020s. And ironically enough, Silva is something of a successor to Vassilev on the St. Louis roster, as we'll get to later on. Xande would play 2 seasons with West Ham's under-21s and showed an ability to press and battle for the ball, along with a track record of scoring at that level. Watch here as he knifes through defenders to get this nicely threaded through ball. And here he is on a fast break, one touching home a pass in a goal that probably looks like one of those sweaty goals in FIFA or EAFC. Silva had a total of 13 appearances with West Ham's academy, all starts as either a central forward or striker, and he bagged 10 goals along with 2 assists. Heading into the 2020-21 campaign, West Ham was keen on getting him some first-team experience on loan. Although it wouldn't be with West Ham, they instead loaned him out to Aris Thessaloniki in Greece. There he is as a left winger showing off his 1-versus-1 ability. He doesn't always need fancy footwork to get around his man, he sometimes just needs a little patience and then some elite acceleration to just simply run around him. As you can see, he can go outside a defender, or he can cut inside and uncork a shot or feed a pass into the box. Over the course of this season, Silva would score 4 goals and have 3 assists in 33 matches, missing just 2 matches, but seeing his playing time diminishing as the season went on. So having played himself out of favor in Greece, West Ham decided it was time to cut bait on the 24-year-old, and they sold him to Nottingham Forest, these guys right here in the Sky Bet Championship. Transfer Market reports that the transfer was about €235,000. And if that fee sounds rather unceremonious, so was his time in Nottingham Forest altogether. He only played 8 matches in 2021-22, just starting twice and tallying just 1 assist. He clearly wasn't in Nottingham Forest's plans for one reason or another. In fact, articles discussing Silva's move away from West Ham use such kind words as flop and misfit to describe Silva. So with his career already on the rocks at the age of 25, he signs on a free transfer with Ligue 1 side Dijon in 2022. The club had been relegated from Ligue 1 a season prior, and both club and player probably saw each other as a reclamation project of sorts. And for Silva, it was a move that paid off. He bagged 6 goals and added 3 assists in 32 matches for Dijon, and consistently started for the French side throughout the season. His stock was on the rise again, even as Dijon were relegated this season to the 3rd tier, where they remain today. And it was perhaps that relegation that sealed his move stateside, as he was signed on a loan by Atlanta United in August 2023. Technical director Carlos Bocanegra described Silva as a signing for the stretch run and noted, quote, "He is a versatile attacker who will provide more competition on the wing and has the ability to play anywhere across the front three," end quote. But he'd actually play all 13 possible matches as a winger in 2023 for Atlanta, scoring 4 goals and adding 3 assists. He quickly found his form in Atlanta, and it appeared he was well on his way to finally achieving career stability at the age of 26. In December, the club announced that it exercised a purchase option for Silva. In typical MLS fashion, the terms of the sale weren't disclosed, but Transfer Market reports it was for about €3.5 million. It's a lot of money. But his 2024 was a mixed bag. He had his legendary moment for Atlanta United fans, getting the game winner in the MLS playoffs against Inter Miami to send Atlanta into a second leg in Miami with a 2-1 advantage, which they would see out and upset Messi and friends, and probably made Don Garber and MLS marketing officials a bit upset too. But he'd only played 30 matches in 2024 in all competitions, missing stretches with adductor and foot injuries, and generally looking less effective, with Atlanta fans feeling he was playing through injuries at the time, or maybe just wasn't giving full effort. He only scored 3 goals and added 2 assists last season. He found himself in familiar territory in 2025, his starting place gone and his future a bit uncertain. He has only started 2 of 7 matches this season, with Atlanta opting to go with other players in his position, and has tallied just 1 assist. And with his contract winding down and finding himself out of the club's plans, Atlanta decided it was time to move on from him as well and get some salary relief by trading him to St. Louis. And that's the story of Xande's career up until this point. A mixed bag for sure, but we've seen him with incredible speed and acceleration, beating defenders one-on-one and creating chances for others as well as himself. I'm curious, though, what player he actually does compare to, and for that, we'll go to FBref for that.
It's me, Austin!
Oh, son of a bitch!
What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
As much as it pains me to say, this is actually a pretty accurate comparison if you look at the analytics chart, especially when you consider both have played entirely in the MLS during this time period. Both Silva and Russell excelled at one-on-ones as well as generally progressing the ball. Both liked to create chances and were capable of intercepting the ball, though Russell was definitely the pluckier defender on defense. Russell, of course, played 8 seasons for the Kansas Boys in Blue and is considered a club legend there. So if St. Louis has indeed signed the Portuguese Johnny Russell, then this might be a heck of a signing and a bargain down the road, although he does have to live up to his contract right now, where he makes just under $700,000 this season with a club option for 2026. But consistency seems to be the big question with Silva. The talent is there, the analytics and the eye test back that up, but consistency continues to be a problem with him. Moments of brilliance bookmarked by long stretches of inconsequential performance. Atlanta United fans, when I did my reaction video to his signing on Twitter, had a mixed reaction to him leaving as well. Some of them were happy he was gone, others not so much. Anyone want to buy this guy's Xande Silva jersey? $200 down the drain. I think Atlanta United should have a trade-in special for folks who got stuck with a player they traded on their jersey. Who wants to make him an offer for that Xande Silva jersey? Damn. Braves After Dark. Just damn. This guy paid for a blue check mark too to say that. Damn. Yeah, Sean, that is a very expensive. Damn. My account's lighter for saying that. Damn. No, that Atlanta fan's not happy. I thought everyone said Garth was going to cook. Uh-oh. He's a slow cooker, 3-4 transfer window. I'm going to like that one. I don't do much on X anymore, but I like that. John's Crab Shack saying it was a solid move. Xande had some amazing moments in the shirt, but was getting paid starter money to come off the bench. Why? Atlanta United fan number 1, since we move on so quickly these days, I have also decided to move on. This will be my last founding member season ticket holder year. Wow. Sorry, but I can't keep doing this. Over Xande Silva? But how does he fit in St. Louis's lineup? Well, for that, we go to Michael from Chat City Tactics, who had a pretty solid suggestion. With Silva's tendency to drift inside as opposed to playing out wide and his ability to play either wing position, Michael suggests that Silva and Celio be the 2 attacking midfielders behind Klaus, with Volum and Totland playing on either side, applying pressure with their pace, as well as both being capable of running up and down the field with their stamina and work rate. Hartle would continue to be an 8, albeit one that plays higher up into a shadow 10 of sorts based on this graphic, and a deep lying 6 in front of the 3 center backs. It's a lineup that I'm really intrigued by. However, who is actually scoring goals in this lineup? We all know about Joao Klaus's drought before he recently scored. We know that Marcel Hartle is playing deeper in the midfield, so he may not be available as often to come in and score. Silva is someone that can score on occasion, but isn't a consistent scorer by any stretch of the imagination. Celio is a creator. Volum is a creator. Totland is a creator who can score occasionally. Who is scoring goals in this lineup? Well, maybe the solution will come out once we see this lineup in action and with game time to come. But what do you think of the signing of Xande Silva? Do you feel that it's a worthy gamble at this point? The talent's there, but is the consistency? If you're an Atlanta United fan that has checked in for this video, let me know what you think of Xande Silva. Is he a true bust, or is he someone that could still contribute? Drop a comment below, and if you enjoyed this video and felt you got something out of it, drop a like on it. It really does help out the YouTube algorithm. And consider subscribing as well, or even joining the Zombie Ultras. The 14 of you that are in the Ultras, I really appreciate your support. You help keep the internet bill paid and keep this channel going with new content, not just here, but also with my travel vlogs that I'll be resuming on May 1st when I head to Louisville and then to New England for the weekend for a couple games there. And of course, the supporters section as well. Thank you so much as well. You're the originals, and it's just 99 cents a month to join that group. This is your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin here, and I didn't mention much about Silva's injury history because there really isn't much to mention. The guy that we could have signed? Well, his legs are being held together by duct tape and prayer at this point. If you want to learn more about him, you can check out a story right up here. I do warn you, though, that you should click gently because Fredrik Jensen is a bit delicate.